Are deep-seated resentments holding you back from a purpose-filled life?
Well, that's what we're going to look into today here on My Sober Truth. Well, folks, it's May 15th, and it's time for your double shot of My Sober Truth. I love this reading today. You know, the meat of it was kind of short, but it didn't need to be long because, man, there is so much truth in those 8 words. No God, no peace. No God, no peace.
That's right.
You know, as we're walking through this journey, one of the things we're dealing with face-to-face is the resentments.
Yeah.
It's those things, and we all know that part of walking out our recovery is dealing with those resentments, but not on our own.
Right.
But walking hand in hand with our higher power. So I got this question for you, and I'm curious to hear from your journey. How did your higher power help you make peace with your past resentments?
Well, boy, I could talk about this all day. But so for me, coming in as a person who was resistant to believe in a higher power, and it's funny saying that because I'm not certain that I ever was a disbeliever,
Right.
But I told myself that I didn't believe.
Right.
And so I told everybody else that I didn't believe. Once again, it was like part of my ego. That was part of the shell that I built up.
Well, one of the common resentments in life that we hear a lot of times is, I'm upset at church, but they mix the two up and they get mad at God because the fan club has treated them so wrong.
Right.
And so a lot of times when we run into people, especially in recovery, who says, I don't believe in God. Well, they really have a problem with the people that go around doing things in the name of God.
Right.
So
it's the resentments towards the people, but you know, it's like being mad because something went wrong with something you was trying to buy at Walmart. You know, you're mad at Walmart and you take it out on the people, and
it doesn't work.
It's the same thing. So these deep-seated resentments and these things I needed to get over, and these things that I was very ashamed of, it all plays in very much together. As I grew in a walk that started to more and more have a spiritual aspect to it, and I started to more and more see that these things that I was working on in the 12 steps were driving me towards a relationship with a higher power. The thing that the 12-step program I was involved in allowed me to do, and the people I worked with in that program allowed me to do, was figure it out. Instead of, I was not a guy that you could shove a whole lot down my throat. I was going to fight back.
Right.
I was going to resist. They allowed me the space in the room to figure out what a higher power should be to me.
Right.
And a lot of people may not agree with that out there. I don't know if you do or not. All I can tell you is that it helped bring me closer to God.
Gotcha.
But I had to do it in my own way. And I look back at what I know about religion, God, those things, and I kind of feel like that's the way a lot of us were designed. We were designed to question, to be observant, to pay attention to these things. And when all you know of God is church, you can cop some resentments about that.
Right.
It's very easy to. You know, I talk about a spiritual experience a lot, and I didn't know anything about spiritual experiences. I didn't know anything about miracles because I expected them all to be some huge, life-changing, I can't believe what I just seen, I can't believe what I just experienced thing. And it is. But it's not what you think it is.
Gotcha.
It's not necessarily Jesus walking on the water, or it's not necessarily, you know, God showing you a sign by shaking the mirror hanging on the wall, you know, at the burning bush, whatever. It's these small, incremental things most of the time that you don't even realize you're going through, like what happens when you work a step 5 properly. You share with God, you share with yourself, you start to try to get an understanding of these things that have been holding you back, and then you share it with another person. And I can't say that day I was cured, But what I can say is that that day I felt a little bit of relief.
Right.
But that relief, that wasn't the end of it. That relief grew, especially as I started moving on in the steps, working more of the steps, putting more of this program into my life. As I did that, things got clearer. I started to understand things not only about the world, but about myself that I never really understood before. You know, we talk about resentments and how twisted up they can get you. And I love what my sponsor told me once. He told me if I waited around the rest of the world to act like I thought they need to act, I was going to be waiting a long time, and I was going to be living in resentment for a long time. And I just read something, I think earlier today, and it was this question. It's funny that I just thought of it now. It was this question. If you, the moment that you know the person you hold a resentment against is not going to change, if you still hold that resentment, then that means you're resistant to change.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute now, hang on. They did me wrong. Yep, but if you wait on them to get better, you're going to be waiting a long time. So it's very interesting the way I have to say that it was some sort of divine intervention when the guys who were writing and coming up with these 12-step programs were doing the things that they did, because it just works so well.
Absolutely.
You know, it's amazing, and it's amazing how my life's changed, and coming to know God and knowing some peace. And that doesn't mean I never get mad. Doesn't mean I'm like, you know, the Dalai Lama or something, this guy that's total Zen, all that. No. It just means that I get twisted occasionally, but boy, I get back to peace a whole lot quicker than I don't know that I ever got to peace before. Right. Now I can get back to laughing it off, chalking it up to, that's life, things happen. But you know what? As long as I sit here in the misery of resentment or in the misery of shame, nothing's going to change. Right. The only time it changes is when I change it. I can't control the rest of the world. I can control me.
And I love it. I love it. As we wrap up today, I'd like to ask our viewers the same exact question I just asked you. So how has your higher power helped you make peace with your past resentments? Take a few moments, put your answers down in the comments section below, because we want to read it. And we want your answer to encourage someone else today. And on that note, for My Sober Truth, I'm Mark.
And I'm Sean. And here's hoping that today you stay drunk with success. Love y'all. Hi, folks. Thanks for watching. If you're ready for another round of My Sober Truth, then belly on up to MySoberTruth.com and click on the double shot button today. There you'll find the daily inspiration, encouragement, and support that'll help you stay clean, on track, and growing in every area of your life. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and if you got a minute, stick around, watch another video. Love y'all.